it's kind of silly of us from now on to really have to put like a label exactly what we are. But I think it has really played a positive role in the past and sort of letting people know what they're in for somewhat. At the time when the New Deal was starting, like I think in Toronto at least, there was a fairly large house music movement, and I was really interested in getting those kids and those people out to see the New Deal and to see, what they thought of like a group playing this live. We called it Live Progressive Breakbeat House.
There are actually, I think, a fair amount of structures within how we play in terms of phrase lengths and the kind of tolerance that we have for how long we'll sit in one thing before we move on, and how much room within that time there is for anybody to step beyond working on the groove, which is, I think, still where we're groove-based to begin with, and Jamie adds all the vibe on top of it. We are actually the farthest thing from a bunch of guys who just stand up and play whatever we want. I mean, we play whatever the three of us somehow agree without saying anything while we're playing what we're going to play. But I think the jam band, most of the time when it's applied to us, is almost a pejorative term. It's like, oh, those guys are another one of those jam bands or whatever. And the implication there is that it's a bunch of guys who are just getting up and doing whatever they want. Everybody's seen bands that do that, and you get endless guitar solos and endless wank fests that some people are really into, but we've never been into it.
feel this is definitely a special evening, and I think there's nothing really much to say other than we should make it a memorable one. So it's everyone's night tonight. Let's fucking throw it down hard. Absolutely. You guys up for that? Very awesome. We're gonna take you through midnight. We're doing 2 sets tonight. Denise Benson's also doing 2 sets tonight. Goldfinger did before, and we're gonna sort of rock it out. We got a very special surprise for the second set, and that's it. So let's rock it. You guys into it? Right on. Cool.
It's neat to make the whole room one big huge spectacle happening and having a lot of different atmospheres being created within this room and a lot of, lighting cues happening, but to also light the band, because we have to realize that we're not like a DJ up there, or we're not nothing up there. Like, we are up there and we are playing for the audience, and it's important for us, I think, to be lit. It's neat to see where the audience's eyes go, even when it's darker, to see if they forget about the band and they're like, whoa, or when it's fully lit, are looking at different things that are happening.
I don't think we're going to bring a vocalist, but you know, we've based our career in the New Deal on, you know, never really having a straight musical plan and kind of going on what our heart feels is right, you know. And if it dictates that that's something that we should do, or we feel we want to do, not should do, but something that we're comfortable doing, then we'll do it. But I don't think we're going to be bringing a singer. Maybe we'll have somebody come up and do something with us. But the chemistry on stage with the band, I think we've reached a maximum density with the amount of information and the number of performers that we can have on a permanent basis in the band because of the amount of improv and the amount of changes and development that goes on stage. And if you add somebody to that mix, it tinkers in a negative way with the whole that is presented to the audience. If you have somebody come up and do maybe a guest performance, that's not quite the same thing, and that could probably work. But with regards to like bringing a vocalist on the road, I don't really see that as something that we can do in this incarnation of the New Deal. It doesn't mean that we can't make songs with vocalists, and it doesn't mean that someone can't come up and sing something here and there. You know, but like I said, everything's always open, you know, like when we started, it was open, it was free, and we try and keep it that way right now, you know, there's no restrictions, and that means, you know, there's no rules, and no rules the good way, no rules the bad way, you know, maybe we will if it feels right. We work too hard to be dismissed with one song, and I think the rewards would be fleeting and short-lived. You know, you can have far greater long-term results without a hit single. Releasing records and selling them, but not selling 1 million records for 1 week and then never selling another one again.
Fish, you know, those guys worked their asses off. They toured like 200 dates a year, you know, and we've done similar things, you know, going out there and busting your ass and not waiting for the, you know, the car commercial to come along to take your single to the top, you know.
Here's a band at that time with no video, no single, no hot selling record, and they are and were one of the highest grossing touring acts every year. And the reason was they had some type of relationship with the crowd, right? That was intangible, and that sort of thing I think we aspire to as well. Not in the same way they did, but that sort of general feeling that you try and get between band and audience.
When you talk about the record, I think we're looking to the record as being a completely different thing, you know, and I think that they can feed into each other and they can give power to each other just as well, you know. If the next record is something where we do a video for and it does really well and we sell a whole bunch of records, the way I look at it is like, great, we'll have like a whole bunch of new people come see our live show. And if for some reason the live shows just continue to get bigger, then great, maybe we'll have a whole bunch of people that will be able to check out our studio records.
I think the intention is to try and create two different realms. There's the live realm, the live performance realm, and the recorded realm. And you can have two different sides to the new deal, and you can get two different things out of it. When we made our last record for the last studio record, we tried to create a record where you didn't have to have seen the show to appreciate listening to the music. You didn't have to go, this is a great band and it's live, or this is a great band and it's improvised, or this is a great band and there's no samplers. We just wanted to have somebody say, this is a great record, you know. And you can come see the show, and you can go take the record home, and you can have a completely different experience with the record. And that's kind of what we try and do, and what we're trying to do with this record, so that it's not just a recreation of the live show, and the live show is not just a recreation of the record. You can have two completely different experiences, and hopefully be as fulfilled with both of them.
We got 4 minutes till our countdown, so if you can't be with the one you love, then love the one you're with. Because I don't know if you're gonna get to them. We're gonna keep it happening for another 4 minutes. We'll keep it rocking, but get ready. Seconds. You guys better make some friggin' noise. We got a lot of Americans Excellent. Woo!
I think that the DNA of the New Deal, most of it resides inside how the three of us interact musically, which I think is an extension of our personalities. I think there's there's a really healthy camaraderie, and there's also always a bit of tension. There's different personalities, and I think that all comes out in, it's in a way like a show of the New Deal is like an odyssey of a week with the New Deal.